Hello everyone. Okay, for this video, I will be discussing two conversions. We have octal to decimal number system conversion and vice versa, decimal to octal number system conversion. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so we will start with octal to decimal conversion. Okay, let's say for example, you have a given um, 370. So this is your value in octal. Okay, and you are going to convert it into a decimal equivalent or decimal value. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to do, same with binary to decimal, if you can still remember binary to decimal, you mo siya i-multiply by 2 with exponent. So if binary to decimal taron, so if you can still remember the 2 to the power of 0, 2 to the power of 1, 2 to the power of 2, and so on. So muna siya sa decimal, sa binary to decimal. But we are now in octal conversion. So we are not going to use 2, but we are going to use 8 instead because octal has a base of 8. Okay, so let's start. So this one, let's start this. Let's start here. So kani siyang 0 dire is a to the power of 0. This is a to the power of 1. And this is a to the power of 2. And then let's substitute 3 times 8 to the power of 2 plus 7 times 8 to the power of 1 plus 0 times 8 to the power of 0. So, muna siya given in, muna siya inyong solution. Start your solution. Then let's substitute everything. 3 times 8 times 8 is 64 plus 8 to the power of 1 is 8. Then times 7 it's 56 plus, so anything that has an exponent of 0, so 1 ang equivalent niya. So 0 times 1 is 0. You can cancel it out or you can include that sa inyong solution. Pwede na po, kay bisag inyo na siya kapilon, equivalent to 0 na mag-i-apply siya. Okay, so let's have this 3 times 64. So 64 times 3, 12, 80, 19. So we have 192 plus 56 plus 0. Okay, so parang yapil si 0. So 192 plus 56 is 8, 9, 10, 14, 248. So you already have now the value of 370 in octal. So the value in decimal is 248. Okay. So muna siya value ninyo sa decimal. Okay, let's have another example. Let's say, for example, you have a value of, let's have 4 digits, 10,071. So, octal gihapon ni siya ha. Still, octal to decimal na gihapon ta. Okay, let's have this 1071 octal to decimal. So, same procedure, same process. Okay, so this is a to the power of 0, a to the power of 1, a to the power of 2, and a to the power of 3. Now let's substitute 1 times a to the power of 3, 0 times a to the power of 2, 7 times a to the power of 1, and 1 times a to the power of 0. Okay, let's substitute 1 times 8 times 8, 64 times 8, so 32, 18, 19, 20, 21. 48, 50, 51, 52. 48, 49, 50, 51 di ay. So, 512. Okay, so 512 is equivalent sa 8 to the power of 3. Then, pwede na siya crash out na lang nato because 0 naman gihapon ni siya kay naman siya 0 dire as a whole number. Okay, then 7 times 8 is 56 plus So this is equivalent to 1. So 1 times 1 is 1. Okay, let's have this. 1 times 512, 512 plus 56 plus 1. Okay, let's sum it up. Answer is, okay, ato say calculate. 512 plus 56 plus 1. So the answer is 569. So you already have the value of this given sa decimal. Okay, the answer is 569. Okay, goods na tadira. Let's say, for example, we already have 3 digits, 4 digits. Let's say, for example, let's make it 5 digits. So, okay, natay 5 digits there. Same ra gyapon octal to decimal. So let's say, for example, you have a given of 16475 octal to decimal. Okay, let's have this. This is um, a to the power of 0, a to the power of 1, a to the power of 2, a to the power of 3, and a to the power of 4. Okay, let's substitute. Let's start here. Taas taas. So 1 times a to the power of 4 plus 6 times a to the power of 3 plus 4 times a to the power of 2 plus 7 times a to the power of 1 plus 5 times a to the power of 0. So there are 5 digits all in all. Okay, let's substitute. 1 times, so pila man ang 8 times 8 times 8 times 8. So you're going to multiply 8 4 times. So 8 times 8 times 8 times 8. We have 4,096. So you can check it sa inyong calculator. Dayon 6 times, pilang 8 times 8 times 8? 512 if I was not mistaken. Let's check. 8 times 8 times 8. Yeah, it's 512. Then 7 times 8, 8 to the power of 1 is 8, times 7, it's 56. So this is equivalent to 1. So 5 times 1 is 5. Okay, 1 times 4,096. 4,096. Okay, 512 times 6. Okay, times itong 6. We have 3,072. Next, 56. Next, plus 5. Okay, let's sum it up. Pila man eh? 4,096 plus 3,072 plus 56 plus 5. So your answer is 7,229. Sakto ba? Ay, time pa na rin ko nalimtan. Ano pa rin kulang? Sorry, sorry. So, erit ata. Okay. Natay nalimtan. Natay nalimtan diri. Okay, okay, wait sa ha. Kajut lang. So, natay, wala na appeal og solve. That's why, natingala ko nga nakupatra siya. So, nakapani siya isumpay. Dere. Nalimot ko. So, kanin siya si 512 pa ni, di ba? So, diri ni siya. Kanin 6 times 512, diri ni siya sa a to the power of 3. So, wala na itong appeal si 4 times a to the power of 2. Okay, let's continue. 4 times 8 times 8 is 64. So, ato na isumpay itong ganina, 56 plus 5. Okay, go. 4,096 plus, pila itong 512 times 6, 3,072. Pila ang 64 times 4? 64 times 4 is 256 plus 56 plus 5. So, this is the time nga ato na siya sum it up. Okay, let's sum it up. 4,096 plus 3,072 plus 256 plus 56 plus 5. So you have 7,485. So this is now your value in decimal. So let's write it here. 7,485. Okay, that's it. Okay, nasabtan ra. So let's have another example in octal to decimal. Let's have a value or a given in Asha decimal point. Okay, this is last example. Let's say, for example, you have a value of 400, let's say, for example, 425.2. Okay? 0.2 times, pila man eh? No times, not times. Octal to decimal. Same process. This will be a to the power of 0, a to the power of 2. Okay? And, ang mahitabuan na aron, kani siya, mahimo na ni siyang a to negative 1. Okay? So, less than 0 is negative 1. Okay, let's substitute them. So, 4 times a to the power of 2, 2 times a to the power of 1, plus 5 times a to the power of 0, plus 2 times a to the power of negative 1. Okay, let's substitute 4 times 8 times 8, 64. Plus 2 times 8, okay, 8 to the power of 1 is 8, so 8 times of 2, 16. Okay, 8 to the power of 0 is 1, so 1 times 5 is 5, plus 2 times, pila ang 8 to negative 1? So 8 to negative 1 is 1/8 or 0.125. Okay, mo na siya equivalent niya. Next, so pwede mo maglibot, ano siya equivalent sa 8 to the power of negative 1. So 1/8. Kung 8 to the power of negative 2, so 1 over 8 times 8, 64. So 1 over 64. So imo na siya kung mag-lisod og fraction, pwede mo na siya i-convert to decimal. So 1 divided by 64, mo na siya decimal point niya. Okay, same na po dani. 8 to the power negative 1 equals 1/8. So, mag-lisod man ba ng fraction? So, pwede siyang 1 divided by 8. So, muna siya yung magawas. 0.125. Okay? So, 0.125. Naragdag kayo ng ito, anak. Okay, let's erase everything. Okay, let's continue the calculation. Naputol si 5. Okay, so let's have this. 64 times 4. So, 64 times 4, 16. 24, 25. So we have 256 plus 16 plus 5 plus pila ang 0.125 times 2? We have 0.25. Then add 256 plus 16 plus 5 plus 0.25 is 273.25. So this is now your answer. 200. Okay. 2 times 8. So your answer is 273.25. Okay, so this is now your equivalent in decimal number system. Okay. So any question? So if you don't have any question, now let's proceed to the conversion of decimal to octal, vice versa. Okay. Let's have this one. Okay, wait. Kasi i-erase. Okay, now let's continue. So, atong i-convert si decimal na pod into, so we are done with octal to decimal. This time, we will do decimal to octal or vice versa. Okay, let's say for example, you have a given of 662 decimal to octal. Okay? So, if you can still remember the two methods, or the two methods um, in decimal to binary, so we have successive division and the subtraction method. But this time, we are going to use successive division instead. Okay? Usa na itong gamitin nga method. So, we have 62 divided by 8. So, if you can still remember decimal to binary, i-divide siya og 2, right? So, this time, octal man atong gibulong. That's why I divide siya og 8 because octal is a base of 8. Okay, so this is now your quotient and your remainder. So 62 divided by 8. So let's use our calculator. 62 divided by 8. We have 7.75. Ang inyong button na ana, si 0.75, kaning 0.75, 0.75, i-times so na siya 8. So, muna siya remainder ninyo. So, 0.75 times 8 is 6. So, that will be your remainder, 6. So, muna siya yung ibutang dara. Okay? Kanilang decimal point niya, alam mo kalibog, this one. Kanira siya mo inyong i-times og 8 para makakuha mo og 6. Okay. So, next, ato'y continue. You don't need to include 0.75 pag mag-divide mo. So, pwede lang si 7. Automatic si 7 na diretso. No need to include 0.75 sa pag-divide. Okay, so 7 divided by 8, we have 0.875. Okay, 0.875. So, kaning 0.875 niya, so 0.875, i-times na po siya 8, so that will be your remainder. Okay, so pila man ang 0.875, i-times nimo og 8. That is 7. Diba? So, kani siya, imo ni siya, kaning 0.875, i-times na nimo 8. So, you will get 7. Okay? So, you can check it sa yung calculator. So, 7 is siya. That's why yung remainder is 7. And the rule is, if you will reach 0 sa inyong quotient, meaning that is the time that you are going to stop your calculation or your computation. And since we already have 0, we already reached 0. So that is the time that we have to stop our computation. So how to read the remainder? It's going up. Okay, so going up, so the value is 76. So muna siya value ninyo, 76. Okay, understood? Now let's have another example. This will be the last example. Okay? Okay, let's have this. I know na naman idea ane because the concept in binary to decimal and decimal to binary is just the same with decimal to octal and octal to decimal. Ang nausobra is ang value sa base nila, which is ang 2 ug 8. Same na po na siya sa hexadecimal and decimal. Okay, so let's have last example. Let's say, for example, you have a value of 468 decimal to octal. Okay, same like yapon. You have here the quotient and the remainder. So 468 divided by 8. Let's use our calculator. 468 divided by 8 is, ay, sa'yo. 468 divided by 8. 58.5. So si 0.5, i-times na to 8. So 0.5 times 8 equals 0.5 times 8. 4. So answer is 4. Then, ang whole number of 58, butang na mo dire, divide na po din mo og 8. So 58 divided by 8, it's 7.25. So 0.25 times 8, 0.25 times 8 is 2. So you have a remainder of 2. 7 divided by 8 is 0.875. So 0.875 times 8 is 7. So 7 inyong remainder. So we already reached 0. So we have to stop our calculation. So ato na siyang basahon going upward. So your value now in octal is 724. Okay? So this is now your answer. So this is your equivalent in decimal and this is now equivalent in octal. So if you have questions, you may comment down below, or if you have further questions or ganahan pa dyan mo og more explanations, but I know nga nakasabot ra pud man because it's just a review sa atong past videos nga akong i-upload. So if you have questions pa jud, you can send me an SMS, you can call me, you can email me, or you can send a message through Messenger. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have learned something from my video. Thank you so much, guys, and keep safe, everyone. Aja aja.